I've been watching this Brony fandom grow for a while, and after the departure of some of the fandom's most notable reviewers, general conduct, and some things I have thought about myself, I ended up coming with a list of things that people should do as a Brony, if not just a fan of anything. Also note that I may throw out some names while I talk about this. Just know that I'm using your names with all the respect they deserve. No anger to them. So the first thing I want to say, number one, is that you should do this for yourself. I know that sounds a little weird, but I'm really meaning to say that you should do this because, like me, maybe you're like me and you had an opinion in your head about these episodes and you had to get them out in order to be going crazy. Which is why I did this. You shouldn't be doing this for Patreon, though you could be doing it for that, or doing it for, basically you shouldn't be doing this for money, and just for money. You should do this because you want to do it. Next thing, number two, is have an idea what you want to say. And that sounds a little obvious, but what I mean by this is you have to have something written down or some kind of notes, because talking with no script or any idea of what you want to say could have you rambling, and ultimately that's going to do a lot against you when you're trying to do reviews or just about anything else you may be doing. The third most important point, number three, be negative to a point. So I mean to a point is because, well, you can be negative about some things, but you shouldn't pride yourself on being negative to each and everything that you may come across. One person I would like to use as an example is Misanthropony, who in the beginning was very negative to just about a lot of things that he saw. And while I'm not going to get into the specifics, let's just say that down the line he made a mistake and thankfully realized it and pulled himself out of it. So basically, you should be negative, and you can be negative, but you have to know when to be serious about some things. One of the most important points is the next one, is that you're not doing this for internet fame. And you may hear it as being called horse famous or being called popular if you're in the furry community. I hate these two terms because all they are is just two different terms of mean the same thing, internet fame. And you really don't want to just do all this for that, because ultimately you will either get burned out, or if you do manage to get the fame that you wanted, you're going to realize that you actually didn't want it to begin with. The next point I want to make is you're not going to be amazing to start unless you are. This basically means that your first videos or anything else is going to be bare boned or a lot of errors. You expected a lot of errors. Like I made some my first one myself because I had no idea what I was doing. That's basically what I'm saying. You're not gonna start off this thing with amazing work unless you did this professionally or you did this in school and recreationally. Let's remember that you're, even with your first video, it's going to take some time for you to get hundreds, maybe thousands of subscribers. So you basically should be fine with the ones you get. On a related topic is number 6. Big numbers take time. You're going to make your first 3-4 videos, but you may not see hundreds of thousands of subscribers, like I said previous. But I'm just meaning that big numbers take time, is that you're going to start off and your video may just get 5 views, may get 10 views. At the most, you may get 100 over the first week, maybe if you've got it right, everything right. But don't get discouraged. It will take some time and a lot of error, but you will see those big numbers come up just when you've got everything perfectly right set. And lucky number 7 is talent first, collab second. I'm a little guilty on this one myself because, as you can, I'm trying to build up my own skills in making videos for the Brony community. But also, I'm saying collab second because once you make sure you have everything down and you have your own way of doing things, then you should start looking to see if you can do collab with people. And when you do these collabs, you should make sure you should have a set idea of who does what. You can't do everything yourself unless you're the editor. So maybe one person does the script, another person does the visuals, something like that. And also, for another topic, visuals help. It's one thing to stare at a static shot of maybe a few things like a piece of cake, but it's another thing just to stare at a blank screen with nothing on it. That's not going to do very well for you. So it's a good idea to have some kind of picture that some people can focus on. Otherwise, the best case scenario for this is that they're not going to pay attention to your video. They're just going to have it playing in the background. And unfortunately, having them play in the background doesn't mean that you're not going to get a lot of attention for it. And ultimately, you may not get a lot of views or subscribers. Number 9, this will cost you more than sanity. I mentioned about being a video editor, but ultimately this whole thing will cost you more than sanity, and not just because of editing processes, but because it actually costs you money. You may decide to use, if you have a laptop, you may decide to use the laptop microphone, but you'll realize soon enough it's not going to work. What you really should do is to buy a microphone and get a good microphone. Now, good doesn't mean expensive. Yes, you can get an expensive microphone, but you may or may not want an expensive microphone. Some of the best ones may cost a little under $200, if not over. The one you are hearing me use right now is a microphone that costs about $20 with tax and everything included, maybe a little over, which is where I would say you should set a benchmark, starting at $20 and maybe ending at $50 for a regular microphone. Anything more is probably for someone who does professional voice work, and by professional voice work I mean they do talking like this for hundreds of dollars an hour, or something where they put their name in credits. With the microphone aside, you could find some editing programs, but a lot of people seem to just use what's comes standard. In that case, whatever advice you may see for that you can work with that. Now, I recommend that you have to buy a microphone, but you don't have to necessarily buy video making software. You could find some on the internet for free, or you can use whatever came with your computer. 10. Advice is usually free. Basically, I'm really saying is that you can find tips on how to edit videos or how to edit audio on YouTube or any other video site. But for more detailed work, you may have to ask someone for help, and some of them will have or may charge you for it. It's nothing personal with those people, but sometimes that is how they have a business. Number 11, not entirely unique. With the Brony fandom being 5 years in, it's not going to be entirely unique on how to work things out. You're not going to be the first musician. You're just going to be another musician, or the first writer. You're going to be another one. It's both a plus and a minus, because it's a plus because you're not the first. You're not going to be the pressure to be the first one and thus be spectacular at everything. But it's a minus because you're going to have to try to find a way to stand out. And standing out sometimes may drive you insane when someone else comes by and despite all your hard work, does something maybe simpler and get a lot more views than you will, or subscribers. Number 12. Balance funny with facts. This is really more trying to figure out a perfect balance between having fun with the video and trying to state all the facts about the video or the episode. Geeky Steven did this better than I can describe it, so I recommend you check his channel, or rather specifically, check the video, which I'll link below. 13. Make some kind of emotional bond. This is a difficult one to do because it requires you to take an episode and try to find something that you can relate to it. FNGR made a video, and like Geeky Steven's video, that's going to be down in the description. So that's all I got for right now. If you think more than one of these topics should be done by people on YouTube or anywhere else, hit the like button. If there's something I forgot or something I could clarify on, leave it in the comment section below. And if you want to keep looking for these videos made by me, subscribe. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you later.